Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is a new series that I'm starting. It is about Maven. Now, if any of you have done a little bit of work in Java or Kotlin or any ecosystem that is related to JVM, that you might have heard the word Maven, Apache Maven, one way or another, directly or indirectly. So, this is the series about going a little bit deep in the Apache Maven, apart from just the usability point of view. And what I'll be discussing is starting from what Maven is, what are the features, how to use it, how to install it. From there to go into the deeper topics like dependency management, profiling, repository management, module management, things like that. So I hope you enjoy it, and let me know if your thoughts in the comments if you can. All right, so this is the official documentation of Apache Maven. I thought that I'll maybe try to prepare some sort of a document or a slideshow or something, but then I realized, what more to what more detailed I can prepare than the official documentation itself. So I just thought that we'll just go through the official documentation on what Maven is, and we'll actually talk about the points that they've posted on the official doc, because I think that seems like the source of truth to me. All right, so if you can see my screen, yep. Apache Maven is technically, I mean, there are a lot of different words that you might have heard about it, right? But at the end of the day, it's just a project management tool which can manage all the Java, Kotlin, or any other language specific projects. I mean, you just need the settings and plugins and the lifecycle attached to those languages. That's it. And so it relies on this very central concept called project object model, which in short we call it as a POM, which is nothing but XML based specification to describe what your project is. The metadata about the project, which includes the name, the unique identifier of the project, the version of the project, and dependency, and the build life cycle if you want to customize it. Right, I'm not sure if you guys are understanding these words, but definitely in upcoming videos, we'll go and have a deep dive into each and every of these topics. So don't worry if you think that this is too complicated. It's actually one of the simplest project management tool out there, in my opinion. All right, but yeah, majority of the time Maven is used with Java projects. Because there is another build tool called Gradle, which is taking over all the other ecosystem JVM specific, right? Things like Android project management or Kotlin or any other Java based another languages like Groovy or something, right? Which I don't use it, but I mean there are people who are using it. So yeah. Let's go to the features that Maven provides, because I think that is one of the things will make you understand what Maven can do, and then where you can use it. So as we discussed, it's a simple project management tool, nothing fancy. One of the design goals of Maven was that it has to be consistent across all kind of projects, right? So you'll have a consistent file format, consistent schema, consistent settings. So if you're using Maven in one kind of project, you can use in another project, or if there is any project out there, you can just read the POM and understand what kind of settings and dependency and build lifecycle customizations have been done across in that project. The third feature is superior dependency management, which is again, as I discussed, right? If you've used it, you know that you can add dependencies that you want to use in your project. Now, what exactly is dependency? First of all, right? So in the Java world specifically, everything is distributed as a jar, right? I mean, there are other formats, but jar is the main standard format for Java. What it means is whenever you have a Java source code, when you compile, it'll become class files. Right now, those class files are bundled into jar file with some sort of a manifest which describes what the packages and classes are inside this package. Right now, one thing is you can manually share this jar with other people or the team member, and they can put it into their class path, and they can import it. That is one way to do things, right? But again, as you know, it's a cumbersome process. How are you going to distribute it? Over email or Slack or some sort of a communication? I mean, that is little bit, I would say, complex, and it's prone to a lot of errors. So to tackle that, Maven has this automatic dependency management. What it does is it actually keeps all the dependencies at central place somewhere called repository, and then whenever you want to have that jar file, right, you just add the dependency description that, hey, this is the package or organization, and this is the artifact, this version, I want it. And then Maven takes care of automatically updating those dependencies. And if your or the library that you are trying to install as a dependency, that library might also have some other dependencies, right? It's called transitive dependencies. So that dependencies also will be automatically downloaded by Maven, making sure that that jar file also depends on other jar file. That also works, right? So overall, I mean, Maven makes it very easy that we sometimes tends to ignore this complexity of dependency management. But yeah, I mean, just to summarize, it does and it does very well. Maven also has a feature where you can have multiple projects that you can have. It's called modules and all, and you can very easily work with multiple projects, right? I mean, when we'll start exercising, we'll know all of this in detail. Maven has a central repository, which is, to be honest, one of the world's biggest repository of libraries when it comes to Java ecosystem, right? And all the people who open sources their libraries, they submit to that repository, and again, using dependency management, you can download and install those dependencies in your project and save a lot of time rewriting the same code that someone has written and tested and reviewed. So in my opinion, I think that is very, very valuable. You can also extend Maven, right? So Maven has this functionality of plugins. So using those plugins, you can extend the Maven life cycle, where you can add custom behaviors, and this is how all the compilers or most of the behaviors, right, in Maven are written. For example, if you're using Spring Boot, then you might have noticed that you have to use a Spring Boot plugin, starter plugin, right? If you are using any other library, so they'll also, for example, if you're using reporting JCoco or something, right, you'll have to install those also as a plugin, because that is where JCoco's custom code takes over and does its thing, right, which is generating the unit tests and code quality reports, or in the case of Spring Boot, starting embedded servers and making sure everything is up to the mark, right? We'll also discuss this in detail there'll be dedicated videos around this. All right. I think these are the only major points that I could think of. Of course, apart from this, you can also have, as I said, right, that Maven has its own central repositories, but you can also install, or you can also host your own Maven repositories, and you can just add settings in pom.xml, right, that, hey, this dependency download from this particular repository. What it does is, for example, if you have some libraries which are private and you don't want to actually make it available to the world, right, so you can't update it or upload it to Maven repository, so you might need your own, but at the same time you want to utilize this dependency management feature that Maven provides, right? In that case, what you can do is you can run your own Maven repository. It's called Nexus, and using that, you can again utilize the dependency management feature, and install your private dependencies directly from your own hosted repository than central, which is something that I've used extensively, and it works very well. And I think it's again one of the hidden features for the enterprise applications, right? That people don't talk about it that much. Anyway, so these are the main features or advantage which I feel are there and gives you a reason to use Maven. I mean, apart from the fact that it is technically the standard project management for Java based applications. All right, so these are all the things. I think I hope this gives enough motivation for you guys to maybe try and learn Maven and try to understand what it does in detail. All right, I think that's about it. Thanks, guys.